recently I had a client have some late on a credit card. It went over the 30 days, started getting into the 60, and they paid it in full and got it caught up. We're surprised that it's still reported late and it still damaged the credit because the account was caught up or paid now in full. So tell me, what does a late payment do? Does it stay on forever? Why is it important to pay the bills on time every time?
So with a late payment, 30 days late is the key. If it is 30 days late, it is going to report you late on the credit report. And that's where people get confused too. People will say, it was due on the first and I paid it by the first of the next month. They're thinking a month. It is 30 days. It is late on your credit report at day 30. Okay. Now, with those late payments, they technically are supposed to stay on the credit report for 7 years. So 7 years of damage for a late payment.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, obviously, as it kind of starts to age, it will start to weigh less and less, but a late payment, it depends on where your credit is already sitting. A late payment can weigh anywhere from 30 to 150 points. And again, that kind of just depends on where your credit is already at. So once it's caught up, the scores are going to come back up a little bit because your account is not actively past due, but it's not going to come up a lot. And you already have that permanent damage, right? And again, 60 days, 90 days. So that's why it's always key to try to do. I know nobody tries to have a late payment, but put on the auto pay. Put on an auto pay so that at least the very minimum payment is made if you're out of the country or you just forget. Try to make sure the auto payments are set up for the minimum payment no matter what. And even if you are a little late, try to make sure that you're at least catching up that whatever the minimum amount is before the 30-day mark, if at all possible.
Does once you've had, so let's say we've had a credit card and made payments on it on time for a year, and you've accidentally hit that month 13 with a late payment. Does that stop that credit history and start over on that late payment?
No, so you're still, when they're looking at your payment history on a trade line, they're going to look at the months reviewed. How many months has that card been opened that, is the gist of it. So that's why you want to use it, pay it off every month. So it's not going to affect the months reviewed. It's just honestly going to tank the credit score.
Mhm.
And it's just hard to recover from that initial late payment, especially if we're looking at purchasing a home and we're looking at late payments on installments. For some reason, so installments are going to be, like your auto loans.
Right.
And for some reason, the guidelines are more strict on mortgage lates and installment lates than they are on credit card lates. They've tightened up on all of it. It is, generally they want 12 months of on-time payments.
Mhm.
But sometimes we can get around those. No, so you won't lose your payment history on the card. You can catch it up and keep building. And that's kind of the key with those credit cards is keeping them open, right? Letting the length of history continue to grow. Because those are the ones that can stay open forever. Auto loans, you're going to 5 years, it's
Right.
going to pay off. You're going to lose all the payment history. Credit cards can stay open forever. And that's where your length of history comes in too.